All right, so we're going to talk about the power of consistency tonight. Before we jump into those things, though, so here's some recognition. Britt and Court are leading us for the month, so congratulations to them. Also, y'all be checking them out because they're going to do Shanti's Let's Get Up program, which cracks me up. But like, I know how like not in y'all's like element this is, but I'm so proud of y'all for getting there and like hitting success starters and getting in this group. And like I'm sure Maggie can share some about a test group, but like I think it's like I'm really glad that y'all decided to participate and see like what that is like. So we'll be watching for some awesome dance moves. I really am proud of y'all though. And then also something else, we have team retreat coming up. So these are 3 of our ladies who are coming. And there's some other people on here, like I know Maggie qualified and just wasn't able to come. So like I know there's some that won't be there. And yeah, just wanted to say that I'm excited to see everybody. Also, I sent this to like my local people, and basically most of y'all are on here, but February the 20th, we're going to do a little like this is nothing fancy or planned, but it's a Saturday and we're going to just meet up at a local coffee shop and probably do an hour of work, but then just talk and get to know each other. And it's Liella's birthday, which I didn't know when I planned that. But anyways, all of y'all are welcome to be there. I sent like a direct message to my really local people, but anybody can travel. If you want to come stay with me, feel free. Just to throw that out there, I'm excited about more in-person stuff. So let's talk about consistency. Y'all, this is like a verse that I have written so many places, but I love to go back to it. Just reminding us to keep going. So, and let us not grow weary of doing good, but in due season we will reap if we do not give up. And so like I just want y'all, when you're thinking about consistency and thinking about this business, to go back to this. Like I was reading the other day how like some of us like sow the seeds and some of us get to reap the harvest. Like our job's not always going to get to be like those fruit or seeing those fruit necessarily, but like sometimes our job is just to sow the seeds and to be faithful where the Lord has us. But I do want to encourage y'all, like if this is something you know the Lord has you in and you know he's calling you to do this, keep showing up. Like do not get discouraged, because at the end of the day, coaching is hard at times. And there's going to be ups and downs and ups and downs. But anytime I've talked to Caroline about this, like she kind of is like, it's like an up and down. Like you have ups and downs, but you're always moving up. So if you consistently show up, like you might be going, like I'm kind of doing this with my hands. I don't know if anybody can see me, but like you're literally up and down, but you're constantly moving up and you're constantly growing. And so you're going to have those seasons, but don't give up and keep on going. And here's the thing, y'all, like this is more than just a secular business. Like on our team, I hope that all of y'all have the heart that like this is truly kingdom work. Like this is a mission field for us. And that's the way I see this every day. And like I saw this quote and it was just one of those things I was like, that's so true. And at the end of the day, like doing kingdom work pretty much guarantees that eventually we're going to face the temptation to tire out. Like we're going to get tired. The enemy's going to come in and discourage us and try to pull us away from where the Lord is calling us and throw all these curveballs in the way. And like, we're going to get tired at times, but like, that's where we get to take a deep breath and be like, our strength and our endurance and our perseverance doesn't come from ourselves. Like it literally comes from the Lord. And I tell people this all the time, but I'm a firm believer that like wherever the Lord calls us, he's going to equip us. And we might not always know what that equipping is going to look like. Like we might have to take that step in the calling and walk in obedience first before we know how he's going to equip us. But I just truly believe that like if this is something he wants us to do, he's going to equip us for that. And so a few different things I want y'all to think about when you start to think about being consistent and like pushing past that that barrier of, okay, I know I've got to be consistent in my business, but I really don't want to be all the time. First of all, like I want y'all to surrender this business back to the Lord. Like this is not ours. This is truly something that he's entrusted us with. And so pray over these things. That's my next thing I know, but like surrender it. Say like, Lord, this is yours. I know every single morning I've gotten in the habit of like, that's my first prayer. Lord, this is yours. Where do you want me to go? Who do you want me to talk to? How do you want me to lead? And that's just a question that I write down. Literally, I write it down every day, and just pray that he'll give me eyes to see and clarity to see and give me the strength, because y'all, I get tired sometimes. I'm not going to lie, but I have so much joy in this, and I know that the Lord's called me here. And two, I've already said this, but like, pray over your business, pray over your clients, pray over your coaches, pray over our team. I'd said pray over out team, but okay. Anyways, y'all get the point. But seriously, this is something that really changed my perspective when I started to pray over these things before I went into the work. Because sometimes, like, making those connections and talking to people, like, sometimes we just don't always have that motivation to do so. But taking the time to stop and pray over these people, like, these are relationships, these are real people, like, these are real seeds we're sowing. We're not just trying to grow a business here. We're trying to, like, engage women in the word and help them, like, just grow in their walk with Christ. And so praying over it. And then last but not least, like, go back to your why. If you're really struggling with consistency and showing up, go back to why you're here. And on most days, like, if you have a true why that, like, really makes you want to cry, which I know that sounds crazy, but like, if you have that why, and whatever it is, like, whether it's a financial thing, like, I'm not saying that's our end goal, but like, even if you have things that are financial goals, or if you have just like relationship goals, or like whatever it is, make sure you know your why. Like, if you don't have a vision in this business, you don't have something bigger than yourself that you're shooting for, then on those hard days, you're probably going to want to walk away, and you're probably going to be tempted to do that. So make sure you have a why first. And on those days that are challenging, go back to it. And I just want to remind y'all, like, we're doing this to further his kingdom. Like, that's our whole team. Obviously, we're all going to have different whys, but our big why is to further his kingdom. And I know I've shared with like some of my girls this year, or some of y'all, like, kingdom builders is like literally the word I'm running with for our team. And that's why I'm so excited about this team growing, not because it's increasing my rank or my income, but because, like, I've seen the way this has changed my life, and like, I can only do so much by myself, but with all of y'all, like, we're literally multiplying, and multiplying and multiplying and multiplying. And so that's really cool to see. And so just remember that, like, we're here to serve the Lord above all. So kind of more on a business standpoint though, I love this quote. If you kind of sort of try, you'll kind of sort of get results. And y'all, this is so true in anything. If we kind of sort of show up for our marriage, we're probably not going to be super close to our husband. If we kind of sort of show up for our work, then we're probably not going to get good reports from our bosses. If we kind of sort of show up in our health and fitness journey, we're not going to get the results. We're not going to feel great. We're going to always be on this teeter-totter, like back and forth. And same goes for our business. If we kind of sort of try, we're kind of blah, 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 blah. That was not coming out, y'all. That was all tongue twisted. If you kind of sort of try, you'll kind of sort of get results in this business. And so I just want to, like, before I go any further, say different seasons bring different things. Like, just know that. I'm not saying that for you to be successful in this business, you have to do exactly what I'm doing right now in my season. Like, that's not what I'm saying. I know I've shared this with all of y'all. There's been seasons where my invites was connecting with one person a day because my marriage was way more important to fight for than showing up for this business, but I was still showing up for this business. And so, like, just know that, like, different seasons literally bring different things. You have to stop and say, okay, what do I need to do? But don't let yourself become lazy and complacent and use that as an excuse not to show up and say, well, I can't do this. Like, don't use those things as an excuse, basically what I'm saying. But be real with yourself and set boundaries and figure out what's realistic for you. And here's the thing. I want you to show up for yourself first. Like, I was having a conversation, I don't think she's on here, no, with Megan Brady the other day. And we were talking about, well, actually, and Kayla and I were talking about this, but like, you have to find joy in the journey. If you're not truly enjoying what you're doing, then it's going to show. Like, people are going to know that you're just in this to try to make money. I'm not saying y'all are, but I'm just saying, like, if you don't truly enjoy the process, then that's going to come out and people are going to see that. And so show up for yourself first. Like, make sure that you're walking this journey behind the scenes. Make sure that you're doing a program that you love. Like, we don't all have to love all the programs. Y'all know I really don't like the bar program. That's okay. But I love some of the other ones. And so I'm going to share that. But figure out your own rhythms and your own routines. And your health and fitness journey is first. Well, your family's always first, y'all. I'm talking more from a health and fitness standpoint, but like your health and fitness journey is first in front of this business. If you're not showing up and walking that, then you can't serve people well. And just remember, like I said, like maybe that's working out 6 days a week, maybe it's working out 2. Like I'm not saying that you have to be this, health and fitness guru that does everything perfect. Like, no, but you share your journey and you be real to who you are and find joy in it. Like, just have fun. If you're so tired of coaching stuff that you're not having fun on your own journey, stop and reset and have fun. Yes, some of these coaching tasks that we have to do are going to kind of get to where you're like, okay, like, do I want to do that? Like you're not always going to just be overjoyed to show up and send invites. I'm not saying that. But at the end of the day, I know that when I finish my tracker, which I had this conversation with Caleb yesterday. I sat down, I did my tracker on Saturday, and like I just had so much joy after I got done doing coach work for an hour and a half. Like I don't know why, like I just love to coach. I love to show up and like cheer on our community. Like it's just something I love to do. So even those little tasks that aren't as fun, like I still want you to have joy in the process. And give yourself grace. Like we're not perfect. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're not supposed to like show up on Instagram like we are. So don't feel that pressure and don't feel like you have to have this together. If you miss working out for an entire week because life is busy, so what? Share that. Be real with people. Like you don't have to do it perfectly. But you do have to lead by example the way that you're able to, if that makes sense. You have to show up. So that's that. So as far as being consistent, y'all, I share these with y'all over and over, but these are the things you have to be consistent in. These are Beachbody's vital behaviors. They're nothing special, but if you talk to any top coach, like they're doing these things daily. We've got to be proof the product works. Basically, we've got to be doing a program. We've got to be following some type of routine for ourselves. We've got to be showing up in our own challenge groups. And I'm not saying you have to do all these fun, crazy, fancy things, but just showing up consistently. We've got to be connecting and inviting and following up, unless you're Courtney and Instagram blocks you all the time. But seriously though, we do, like, we're here to build relationships. Like we're just supposed to love people. That's what we're doing. Like when you get on Instagram and you encourage somebody, don't feel like this crazy, creepy, salesy person. Like say to them what you would say to your best friend. We've got to be inviting. We've got to be following up. That's why it's so important to always have a group to invite to be plugged in and checking in with your people. Getting people results. I literally shared this on my Instagram today, but like results and transformation doesn't always mean that you're helping somebody lose weight. Like maybe you are, and that's great, and we celebrate those, but results are like so many things. Getting somebody plugged into a workout program that they do once a week when they weren't even moving their body, or giving them some sample meal plans, or, making them feel like themselves again. Seeing women in the Word, like those are results in my eyes. And so think about it from that perspective. And we've got to be doing personal development. Y'all, I thought personal development was the most cheesy thing ever when I started coaching. And I was like, why am I doing this? This is stupid. But I heard this on, I don't know if it was the National Wake Up Call from last week or the week before, honestly, because I've gotten behind on those, but I was listening to one of them on my drive home today. And they were talking about personal development and just the mindset shift that they've had because of personal development. And y'all, that's so true. Like if we're picking good personal development things to be reading or listening to, like, I don't know about y'all, but I walk away feeling like, okay, I got this. Like I can coach. I can, like I can lead a team. I can do these things. Sorry. I was trying to click on the chat because I saw one come through. Yes, to what Ashley said. But it's just one of those things, like personal development gets me pumped up, and like learning from other coaches really gives me that like fire that I need as a coach. Because y'all, I'm thinking about who's on here. Like nobody really knew me before, but y'all, I was one of the shyest people in high school. I didn't lead. I didn't do any of these things. Like you would never think that I would be in this position. And so I'm not naturally one of those people that just show up and do these things, by the way. But listening to personal development and really helping grow and filling my cup has really helped me as a leader. And I shared this on our Facebook page, but y'all, like personal development is not our time with Jesus. That's not what I'm saying. I'm going to say this 10 million times because I think it's important, but that is something as believers that like we should be doing, that we should have a desire to do and a heart to do. And I was reading, I don't know where I was looking at this. It was something from Michelle Myers, but she basically said, or she was talking about personal development. And she was like, when we make our quiet time, our personal development, we're making it about us. And like, we're supposed to be running to the word to know Jesus. Like, it's about him. It's not about us. And so I just always throw that out there because I think there's a big difference in personal development for our business and our walks with the Lord, even though technically they're this, they can go hand in hand. Like, that's not what I'm talking about when I say personal development. I'm talking about learning, growing as a coach so you can love and serve your people better. So those are that. Okay, so here's one that I'm just going to throw out there. Success Club should be a non-negotiable. And I'm just going to preface this and say, like, please, if you're not hitting Success Club, I'm not saying you're a failure or you're messing up. Like, that is not what I'm saying, but it should always be the goal we're running towards. If we don't hit it, then we should be running towards it, and we should be doing everything that we can to try to hit that, to put in the work, to be consistent in the small things. And if we don't hit it, we don't hit it. Like, that's not where our identity is found. That doesn't mean we're a horrible coach. But I do think it should be a mindset as coaches, if we're wanting to grow our business, is that like, this is something we should be running towards. And y'all, that's adding 3 people every month. That's what Success Club is. It brings something that I love about hitting Success Club is not just seeing it from a business standpoint, but here's what Success Club does. It brings new faces. It brings new momentum. So sometimes like we're adding people and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, my group is so stagnant. Like, nobody's excited anymore. But when you're constantly adding people, you're adding new faces, you're adding new excitement. And so what I've seen is when I'm doing this, even some of my old people, like, they're re-excited when they see these new people come in and start showing up. And so think of it from that perspective too. And also what I love about like Success Club is it's truly multiplying our influence. And I know that's something we don't think about very often, but like the more people that we're bringing into this, we are like sharing our tips. We're using our passions the Lord has given us. We're using our gifts and we're pouring these into people. And like my prayer is that these people coming to our community are growing like in all of these different areas and that they're able to pour out into other people too. That doesn't mean they have to be coached necessarily, but hopefully like these, habits and rhythms that they're picking up from our community is just spilling over into their lives, into their families, into the workplace. And so it's just a new perspective to have. But for me, that's something that like I have to stop and remind myself of because I can be such a goal-oriented person. And what I don't want is for this ever to become about the numbers for me. Like that's just not my heart in it. And so sometimes I have to stop and like shift my perspective and see things from a different way. And then of course there's all the fun things. Like when you are hitting Success Club, you get prizes, you're getting those cycle bonuses, you're getting customer leads. So there's tons of business perks from that. But like the only way we're hitting Success Club is inviting. And y'all, I know I'm talking about this. Sorry, my mind just went blank. What's it called? I just said it. What is it on Monday? Y'all, somebody help me out. My mind's blank. Say it, Courtney.
National Wake Up Call?
Yes. Sorry. Sometimes my mind just like completely stops. So like, it's so weird that I was listening to this one on the way home because like I was thinking of all these things. I was like, this is a good thing to talk about tonight. But she was talking about her invites and like basically she was saying her invites are touches. And so like she sends 50 a day. And y'all, at first when I heard that, it freaked me out. But literally invites are like touches. So communication, like starting conversations, responding to polls, commenting on people's things, like it's just relationship building. It doesn't mean that all 50 of those were, hey, do you want to join my challenge group? But it's like planting those seeds. And something that I have tried to like drill into people's heads sometimes, I think, because I've seen it play out in my own business, is like the seeds that you plant today, like the results from that come 6 months down the road. And that's just the way this business works. I think if you're doing it in a genuine, real way, and that's why I tell people from day one, like you've got to be having conversations. Even if your first few months of Success Club come from people you know, I really hope you're having conversations behind the scenes and you're always talking to people on Instagram. And I don't mean beach body talk. I mean just live talk, getting to know people, finding things in common. Because what I found so true in my own business is those seeds that I plant, it takes people a long time if I don't know them to come around. Like that, we've got to have real conversation. We've got to build trust. We've got to build relationship. And so, something I heard that girl say on the national wake call, I was like, that is so true. She's like, if I'm having a really stagnant month, it's probably not because I didn't show up last week. It's probably because I didn't show up 3 or 4 months ago because I was being really lazy and not building communication. And so it's like that circle that goes around and around as you talk to people, like you get to know them, and then it kind of leads to a genuine invite. But if you're not starting new things every month, then you're going to come to a month where like there's nothing there that you don't have those. And then you feel like, oh crap, I'm going to try to rush this to hit Success Club. And then you feel like you're doing it in a fake way and it's not genuine. And that's not what we want. So, I heard Courtney Foster say this one time, and it's so true. Like, if there's nothing else that you have time to do that day, have conversations with people. And like I said, don't let that be an excuse to not invite. Like, don't just stay there. But if you truly are super busy and have nothing else to do, get to know people, love on them, serve them, form that relationship. I truly think that that's what's going to move our business forward more than anything else. I just said way more than I meant to right there, but that's okay. So basically this is what I was saying. I forgot I made a new slide for this, but sow the seeds, start showing up, having communication, like get to know people, spend time, get to know their life. And here's the thing, a lot of us as coaches, we're like, I'm not confident. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't think I can lead a group. If you're a new coach, I don't think I can lead a team. If you're an older coach trying to build your team, and like consistency is one of the most important things if you're wanting to grow in your confidence. Like, I had no idea what I was doing when I first started. Some days I still don't feel like I know what I'm doing. Like, I shared the big goal with y'all of elite, and in my mind, I'm like, are you sure that's the goal you want to set this year? But anyways, besides the point, like if you're consistently showing up, you're going to consistently try these things and you're going to mess up. Like, it doesn't mean you're not going to mess up, but it does mean that you're not going to give up. Like, that you're going to keep going, you're going to keep learning and growing. And honestly, that confidence builds the more and more you show up as a coach. It just does. And that's why it's so important to come into this for the long run, not to come into this and just try it for a few months, because I see a lot of people doing that. Or they might try it for 4 weeks and they're like, I didn't see immediate results, and they quit. Well, of course, like that's probably going to be the way it happens if you're doing it the way our team does it, at least. Let me put it that way. I feel like we do it in a real and genuine way, and there's some people out there that don't. But like if you come into it and you don't see immediate results and you give up, I feel like you're missing such an amazing, amazing gift. And so I just want to encourage y'all to be consistent in the small things. And the more that you do, the more you're going to learn, the easier this is going to get. I don't mean it's going to get easier business standpoint, but it is going to get easier to lead and to show up and to feel like you are showing up in a genuine way. And y'all, I'll share this to you. Just a perk. This is kind of going off of what I'm on, but what's on my mind. A perk of being in this business for a year or more. Once you have been in this for a year, if you are loving your people well, even if they're not showing up and posting in the groups, but you're checking in with them on Instagram, you're keeping that communication and relationship with your customers, then when that year comes around, you can reach out to them and say, hey, look, like your renewal is about to auto renew. This is what I do as a coach, and this is what I would recommend. And you talk them through the price difference in a $99 renewal versus a $160 challenge pack upgrade, and talk them through all the things they get. And basically they get all of these other things for $60. And so 3 of my customers this month were from 3 of my customers this month last year that I reached out to and said, hey, your bod's about to renew. So this is something I check at the start of every month now that I've been in this for a year. Like if you haven't been in it for a year, then it's really irrelevant. But I check it every month and I reach back out to those girls. And most of the time, they want to sign back up. And so y'all see my high numbers. Like basically, I'm consistently signing up 3 people every month, but I'm also reaching back out to people who have been with me for a year. And so just showing y'all like the perks of like being consistent and sticking with this and seeing like loving your people well enough that, hey, they want to stay in the community. And a lot of my girls who aren't posting selfies every day, they're still showing up. I'm still sending them random messages when I see them watching my stories. Like there's still that communication. And so a lot of them will do the challenge pack upgrade and you get 2 Success Club points for that. Like it's just like a brand new challenge pack purchase. So just FYI on that. I'm going to check the chat because I saw things coming in, but I can't see when I'm doing this. Yes, I love how Brittany said she listened to her personal development. It really is like, it really changes your mind shift when you're listening to personal development. Now, obviously you got to listen to the right ones. Like some of them are very, don't take this wrong way, but like some of them are very like women empowerment and you can do all these things. Like, no, our strength comes from the Lord. Like we have to filter those things through a kingdom lens, but I know that y'all know that. So I threw this in here just for fun. So these are the Success Club prizes for this year, which I'm like really excited about. And so basically just a perk of Success Club, if you consistently hit it, like month 1, so if you hit it in January, you get a hat. If you hit it January, February, March, you get a long sleeve, and then keep going, a backpack, a computer cube light, whatever that is, but Ray-Ban sunglasses. Like literally if you hit Success Club every month for this year, you get a pair of Ray-Ban sunglasses. That's pretty awesome. I got it this year, and literally it was to the point where Caleb was like, did you order my size in that? And like I literally swapped with him back and forth. But we have a little massage like gun thing that I got for my 12 months from last year. So I'm pretty excited for that to come in. So it's not about that, but like little things like this make it fun. And also if you're consistently hitting Success Club, you get invited to the Success Club trip, which I've been invited to the last 2 years, but we didn't go, which thankfully we didn't because it ended up getting canceled for COVID. But I think I'm going to try to apply this year. And like basically it's in the Dominican Republic on a, I don't think it's a cruise, but it's like this resort. And so they send you, and like if I hit Success Club every month, basically all I'm going to pay is like $300 for Caleb and I to go on a week trip resort. Like it's just really cool things that Beachbody actually does give you for hitting Success Club. So just sharing that. Okay, so here's like literally just tangible tips that I have for y'all. Sorry, I'm trying to make the chat go away. I pulled it up and now I don't know how to make it go away. Can y'all see it when I pull up the chat on my screen? Okay, I never know what y'all can see and can't. Okay, so I've told this to probably all y'all, but I'm so serious when I say set business hours. Like if this is something that you want to seek success in, but you don't want to get burnt out and you don't want it to take away from your family, you've got to set business hours. And I'm sharing that from a place of I learned this the hard way because I didn't set business hours when I first started coaching, and I was doing things all of the time, every hour of every day, as soon as I would come home, like it was just craziness. And so please set business hours. And something I want y'all to do is, and Maggie and I talked about this Sunday, and I know it's going to look different for different people in different seasons, but I'm going to text y'all Saturday and I want y'all to send me your business hours for the week the next week. Obviously life happens. You might not stick to them perfectly. Like I get that. I don't stick to mine perfectly all the time, but at least I go into the week with a plan and I know that I have this time set aside. And here's the thing too, y'all. You've got to set boundaries with it, especially if you have honestly, not even if you have a family, like in all areas. Cause like I was telling Maggie, like she's in college, like that's some special moments and special times with your friends. Like, I don't want you to miss out on that, And so like, you have to stick to what you're doing. And you have to plug in and you have to plug out. And that takes some discipline like that takes for some people praying about that and being like, Lord, help me to be disciplined in this area. Because for some people, like it's really hard. I know for me, I loved the coaching business and I wanted to see it grow and I wanted to pour in it and I wanted to see results, but it took away from my family and that wasn't okay. And so make sure y'all setting business hours. I used to be a really big power pocket person. I still believe in them. I have kind of shifted since I typed this up last year. And I do more of a power hour in the morning because that's just what works best for me. But pockets are great too. The only thing about pockets is you have to be disciplined about plugging in and plugging out. Like you can't just use the excuse that all hours of the day when you're not at work are power pockets, But when I was really working in the pockets of my day, like I had pockets set out where I had about 20 minutes between when I was working out in the morning, my workout, and getting ready for work. I would get to work in time to sit in my car for 15 minutes. And like I had different tasks that I knew I could get done in 15 minutes. I would spend 30 minutes when I got home or 30 minutes before I went to bed. So like power pockets are really great. You just have to also plan for those, if that makes sense. If you're not a planner, planning in this business is huge. I really do think so. Make a schedule. I've already pretty much said that. Own your mornings. That has been something that has completely shifted the way that I work my business and the way that I show up. Yes, to what Courtney said. Sometimes power pockets are an excuse to basically work all the time, and that's so true. And so here's my thing. If you are working in power pockets, I would set timers on your phone. And like literally set timers, and when it starts, even if it's like a 30-minute power pocket, set a 10-minute timer and be like, I'm doing this. And when that timer goes off, stop doing that. If you didn't mark it off your list, you didn't mark it off your list. And like as you start doing that, it really helps you start to work smarter. So like I've heard the term work smarter, not harder. And like that's what I want y'all to do. I want you to figure out how to use the time you have wisely, not feel like you're having to like work so much harder, but you're basically just being intentional, which that's on this list too, but be intentional with the time that you have. I know Britt works super early, so she's like, I can't on my mornings, guys. But if you can, I really have found the power of waking up and getting that done. Y'all, I don't even have words for this, but like literally this has changed everything for me in the past 6 months, because I go into my day feeling so much more present. I go into my day like not worried about little pockets of work because I have my whole entire tracker marked off. Like it's just such a, I don't know, breath of fresh air when I get it done in the morning. So just if you're a morning person, I would definitely recommend that. And like sometimes that means waking up an hour earlier. And I know everybody can't do that, but if you can, it really does change the game. Do the non-negotiables first. Please do not plug into a power pocket and add 50 people or scroll through Instagram. Like what I do is I get a game plan the night before. So like 5 minutes before I go to bed the night before, I'll sit down, I'll write my top 3 things. And when I say do the non-negotiables, I mean you're talking to people and having conversations and you're inviting. Like those are my non-negotiables. Because I found too that like I save checking in with my challenge group till later because that's something I know I'm going to do. But I could spend 30 minutes just commenting on people's things. And so a lot of times, just to be transparent, I do that during my lunch break at work. Like y'all probably see my comments coming through midday because that's if I have a lunch break, that's what I do, because I know I can do that and still talk to my coworkers and stuff. But like if I do that in the morning, I could use my whole 30 minutes doing that. And so the very first thing I do when I pull up my Instagram is I share on my stories first. That's just because I get my things going. But the next thing I do is I go to my inbox. Like I literally go to my inbox, scroll to the bottom and set like a 10 or 15 minute timer and just start responding to messages. And then I start to like interact with people. So usually I set another 10 or 20 minute timer and like I comment and talk with people in stories. I comment on people's photos. I like people's pictures. I'm just interacting with people. And then I usually set a timer and do invites. And then whatever time I have left, because I can follow 50 people pretty quickly. And once you start doing that, like that gets easy. So don't focus on those things. Make sure you're doing the little things that are going to move your business forward. And if you don't know where to start, it's the tracker. Like if you don't, all of those things I just mentioned are the tracker. Y'all, this is so powerful. And I think I shared this with, I don't know who I shared this with. I've told somebody. I know I shared it with Maggie, but I feel like I told somebody else this in the last week. But so Courtney Foster and I are actually going, well, we're not going because it got canceled, but the New Leaders Conference is Friday and Saturday. We're supposed to be in Las Vegas, so pretty upset about that. That's okay. Anyways, we're doing it at home, and so they have a bunch of groups and stuff because it's all virtual. And there's a group that they created through that conference, and it's like push to 2-star. And so we're both in it. And so we got this email from our corporate mentor that kind of walked through like how to get into this group. And basically he like gave us non-negotiables that we had to do. Y'all want to guess what actually there was 2 things on the whole thing you had to do. The very first thing was do your tracker at least 5 times a week with its entirety. And so if that doesn't speak volume, then I don't know what does. Because if the corporate mentor is telling us 1-star leaders that to hit 2-star and move forward, like literally the only requirement he has of us, other than to check into the group, is to do the tracker, then that's what moves it forward. And I also just want to say, like, I don't ever want to push my goals on anybody. So like if your goal is not to build this huge business, like that's okay. Some people do this for a hobby, but I'm speaking more towards the people who are like, okay, I really do want to move my business forward. What do I need to do? The tracker. Like literally that was our requirement to be in a push to 2-star group. That's it. It's not all the pretty things. It's not all the graphics. And I tell people this all the time. Do not watch other coaches' stories until you got your tracker done, because you can waste 30 to 45 minutes just watching coaches when you could have got your entire tracker done in that time. Is it helpful? Can you learn from people? Absolutely. But is it wasting your time if you want to move your business forward? Yes. Just to be like super blunt. That's something I like quit doing, is looking at other people's. And I try to check in with y'all because I want to support y'all, want to encourage y'all. But I don't watch other coaches' stories unless I have all my business stuff done for the day. I'm gonna read the chat because I see people coming up. Also, Courtney, are you talking about you need accountability with getting up early?
Yeah, I just don't have to be at work until 9. And so I just have like this 5:50 time, but that's not enough time for workout and work hours. So I could easily get up earlier. I just don't.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy to get into the habit. And this is what I tell people is like, because somebody messaged me, y'all, I told myself I'd never get up before 5. And then I slowly started getting up at 4:45. Then I started getting up at 4:30. And for the past month, Caleb and I have been going to the church from 6 to 7 for prayer. And so I was getting up at 4. And so this last night before we went to bed, or the night before, Caleb's like, so what time are you getting up? I was like, just wake me up at 4, because he gets up at 4. So like literally for 21 days, I woke up at 4. And so I was like, you know what? Why not keep the habit going? And like once you start to like you go up more and more and more, it really does get easier. And like I woke up at 4 this morning and chugged my Energize and felt fine, because like I've been doing it for 21 days. Also get in bed at 8 or 8:30 though.
Yeah, what you get to bed? Okay, I was gonna ask what time you go to bed, because my entire family and most of my friends make fun of me and like they're like, I don't text you at night because I know you're in bed.
I'm reading all these, sorry. 4 a.m. is not cray, okay?
Oh, God.
I know it does sound crazy though, I'm not gonna lie, but it really does change a lot. And I'm not saying I'll get up at 4 every morning. Like 4:30 is really my realistic goal right now, and I leave my house at 7:30 every morning. I mean 7. But you got to find what works for you. So that's just what works for me. If it's at night, it's at night. I just have found for my family, it just looks better if I do it in the morning. Be intentional, be disciplined. Pretty much I've already said that, but that's something we really do have to do when it comes to this business. So here is my last thing, y'all. I might get emotional on this, but it is what it is. If you want to be successful in this business and you want to be here on the hard days, get plugged into this community. Like get to know people. And I think most of y'all do this. I'm just like re-saying this because I've shared my testimony with y'all. I've shared what this past year of my life has looked like, the last team call that we had. And it was dang hard. Like I'm just being honest. And if it wasn't for these girls in this community, then I would have quit coaching, because it was just too much. And so like I say this from a place of like sincerity, because this community has become like so important to me. They've been my prayer warriors. They've prayed for me when I felt like I couldn't pray anymore and keep going. But even aside from hard things, like they pointed me to the Lord. Like I've grown so much in my walk with Christ because of the little habits that started through this community and through coaching. And so I feel like a lot of people with coaching, they kind of feel like they're out on this island and they're trying to do it by themselves. And I'm like, you don't have to do this. Get out of your comfort zone, join into a group, get on team calls, reach out, get to know people. Like I promise you, like find a purpose partner. Literally get out of your comfort zone and find a purpose partner. If you need help with that, like message me. I will text our leaders, like we will find you somebody. But knowing people and having those relationships, like I cannot see myself leaving coaching, honestly, I mean, maybe if the Lord calls me to, I don't know. But like, even at this point, I can't see myself leaving because like I've been here for so long that these people are my best friends. Like I can't imagine leaving the community, to be quite honest with you. But get plugged in. And if you're not already in a team cup, and I'm just kind of flipping through who all's on here because I can only see like one person. But if you're not already on a team cup team, like message me and we'll get you plugged in because Team Cup is so fun. Like you get to know people, you get to know other people on the team, not just our Joyfully His team. Like I know we're small, but Fit for His Glory is humongous. And so getting to like just be pushed by other people and like be encouraged by other people is so big. And I'll be honest with y'all, like I don't really know how or when I stepped outside my comfort zone with coaching because I feel like it's been forever ago. But like when I got to know Caroline, when I got to know Anna Bay and Courtney and Aaron, like it just changed everything, if that makes sense. Like I wasn't on this island. I reached out. I'll never forget the first time I messaged Courtney Foster as a new coach, like literally sent her a voice message. She didn't know me. I didn't know her, but I was like, she sounds like somebody that would be good to ask. So I literally just asked for a number and started messenger back and forth. Like just get to know people and ask questions and find community. Because it really does. It's really powerful. And we're going to be doing some more like in-person community stuff, but like if you're not if you're not registered or qualified for team retreat in March, like you have until Friday. You literally have until Friday to hit Emerald. But anyways, just think about those things. Think about Summit. Think about Ashley Stahl and I kind of were talking when we met up Friday night about some different like in-person things that we're going to do. Obviously everybody's not local, so I don't expect like I'm going to tell Kayla like, okay, Kayla, you need to just drive down here every time we have something. I know that's not realistic, but like try to come and see people in person. Our diamond retreat, like this is where this picture is from. And it just like was a whole another level of relationship after that week. And so getting to know people is really cool. I'm excited about going to have coffee with y'all too. That's really exciting. Okay, last but not least, y'all, be faithful where the Lord has you and with what He's given you. Be faithful with the time that you have, with the gifts that you have, with the purpose and passions that you have, and use it in this business. Like I said, like I've gone through so many different seasons of coaching. I've gone through seasons where I can give 2 hours a day. I've gone through seasons where I can give 5 minutes a day. Even in the hospital, like sometimes my weeks look so different just with the COVID and all that. Like there's different times that I can give different days, but something that I do every day is I consistently show up with the time that I have. And a prayer that I write down every single morning is, Lord, multiply my time and my efforts. Like He can do so much more. He can do so much more with my time than I could, or like with my 5 minutes than I could ever do with my 5 hours. And so just remember that. And just remember to have that mindset and like have a stick with itness. If this is something you're passionate about and you really do love and you're not seeing the results that you want, first of all, ask yourself, are you putting in the work? Because you do have to put in work. That's just part of this coaching business. But have that stick with itness and have that perseverance when it gets hard and lean in. Like, we're not asking you to do this by yourself. Like, if y'all need some prayer requests, I'm going to want you to come to me because I know I was sure pouring some personal stuff on our leaders when I was walking through the season that I was walking through. And like, they were my prayer warriors and I want to be that for y'all. So that was not what I was trying to say there, but I mean that. So, okay, let me get off this. I'm going to stop the recording just so we can